This is Plant-Based Briefing, Eat Quinoa and Lower Triglycerides by Dr. Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org. And I'm Marian Erickson. This is the Curated Content Plant-Based podcast where I narrate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. So now let's get to today's Plant-Based Briefing. Eat Quinoa and Lower Triglycerides by Dr. Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org. How do the nutrition and health effects of quinoa compare to other whole grains? Approximately 90% of the world's calories are provided by less than 1% of the known 250,000 edible plant species. The big three are wheat, corn, and rice, and our reliance on them may be unsustainable given the ongoing climate crisis. This has spurred new interest in underutilized crops like quinoa, which might do better with drought and heat. Quinoa has only recently been introduced into the Northern Hemisphere, but humans have been eating quinoa for more than 7,000 years. Is there any truth to its superfood designation, or is it just all marketing hooey? Quinoa is a pseudo-grain, since the plant it comes from isn't a type of grass. Botanically speaking, quinoa is an achene, a seed-like fruit with a hard coat, and it has a lot of vitamins and minerals, but so do all whole grains. It also has a lot of protein. Quinoa has more protein than other grains, but since when do we need more protein? Fiber is what we're sorely lacking, and its fiber content is relatively modest compared to barley or rye. Quinoa is pretty strong on folate and vitamin E, though, and it leads the pack on magnesium, iron, and zinc. So it is nutritious, but when I think superfood, I think of something with some sort of special clinical benefit. Broccoli is a superfood, strawberries are a superfood, and so is garlic. But quinoa? Consumer demand is up, thanks in part to perceived health benefits, and it has all sorts of purported benefits in lab animals, but there have been very few human studies. The first trial was a before and after study of quinoa granola bars that showed drops in triglycerides and cholesterol, but it didn't have a control group, so we don't know how much of that would have happened without the quinoa. The kind of study I want to see is a randomized controlled trial. When researchers gave participants about a cup of cooked quinoa every day for 12 weeks, they experienced a 36% drop in their triglycerides. That's comparable to what one gets with triglyceride-lowering drugs or high-dose fish oil supplements. Which is better, regular quinoa or red quinoa? The red variety has about twice the antioxidant power, leading the investigators to conclude that red quinoa might contribute significantly to the management and/or prevention of degenerative diseases associated with free radical damage. But it's never been put to the test. What about black quinoa? Both red and black quinoa appear to be equally antioxidant-rich, both beating out the more conventional white variety. The only caveat I could find is to inform your doctor before your next colonoscopy, or else they might mistake quinoa for parasites. As reported in a paper, a colonoscopy revealed numerous egg-like tan yellow ovoid objects 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter of unclear cause, but they were just undigested quinoa. You just listened to Eat Quinoa and Lower Triglycerides by Dr. Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org, and I'm your host, Marian Erickson. And this article has inspired me to add more quinoa to our diet. We eat a lot of brown rice, but quinoa is just as easy to batch cook and prepare and freeze and reheat, and easy to throw into things like veggie chilies and spaghetti sauce and all kinds of things. And from a sustainability perspective, millet is another great option. And I'll link these in the show notes, but you may want to check out episode 458, Studies on Millet Nutrition, Is It a Healthy Grain? From nutritionfacts.org, and 459, The Benefits of Millet for Diabetes, also from nutritionfacts.org. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.